today we're going to do a very quick lesson that adds on to the previous lesson on adding integers. Hopefully you found that one easy, and if so, you're going to find this one just as easy. Today we're going to focus on subtracting integers. All right, so let's recall the rules for addition. We had two steps that we needed to do when we were adding numbers with the same sign, and then we also had two steps in order to add numbers with different signs. So in example 1, notice we have a -5 plus a -7. Those steps would tell us to first disregard the negative signs and add 5 and 7 to get a 12. And because both numbers are negative, we need to make our answer -12. Example 2, here we've got the opposite signs or different signs, a -5 plus a +7. This is when we would subtract the 7 minus 5 to get us a 2. And then because the 7 was positive, and that's the largest number in the problem, our 2 in the answer also has to be positive. So again, that was just a quick review of the previous lesson for adding. Now we're going to use that information in order to subtract. I want to draw your attention to the definition of subtraction. All right, and this can also be found in your textbook for all real numbers A and B. All right, basically what we're saying here is if you are subtracting two real numbers, that's the same as adding the opposite of the second value. So instead of reading it as an A minus B, we can think of it as an A plus -B. So why would we want to think of subtraction as an addition problem? Well, if you think about it, the lesson before, we've already talked about how to do addition problems. So why not just keep doing what we're already good at and what's already easy? Addition is easier than subtraction. Everybody can agree on that. So let's change subtraction problems to be easier addition problems. And that's what we're going to do in this lesson. So pause the video here if you need to copy the definition of subtraction, and then we're going to move on to some examples. So in the first example here, 3 minus 9. All right, again, we're not using calculators here because we don't need them. So we're going to, instead of subtracting, I'm going to change it. Keep that first value the same, but now instead of -9, I'm going to think of it as a plus -9. So now we're into an addition problem with opposite signs, and we did that by taking the largest value, subtract the smaller value, and now we need to make our answer match the larger value in the problem. 9 is a larger number than 3, and it was negative in the problem, so our 6 has to match it. So we get -6 for our final answer. Example 4, 25 minus 47. Again, we can change that into a 25 plus -47. 47 is larger, so we're going to start with that and take away our 25. 7 minus 5 is 2. 4 minus 2, another 2. And now to 22. Is it a positive 22 or is it a negative 22? Hopefully you're saying to yourself or the computer -22, and that would definitely be the correct answer. Example 5, here's where the definition of subtraction really can help us. -86 minus 94. That doesn't even sound like a nice problem to do, especially without a calculator. But using our newfound knowledge, adding two numbers together that are the same sign, well, that's easy. I'm going to ignore the signs for now and just focus on the numbers itself and combine them together. 6 plus 4 is 10, carry the 1. 9 plus 8 is 17, plus another 1 gives me 18. The last thing we need to check here, both numbers in the problem were negative, so I've got to make my answer match the problem, negative 180. Much easier to do than the subtraction problem that was given to you. I'm going to let you try example 6 on your own. If you have questions, come see your teacher. The last thing in this section that we need to talk about are the double signs. All right, double signs do tend to give some people a little bit of trouble, but they're easy to take care of, especially double negatives. Double negatives should be changed immediately when they occur in a problem. If you have a plus negative, that means the same as just a subtraction. All right, and it's important for you to get comfortable with this. They mean the same thing. So if one of these makes more sense to you, then stick with that one. The minus negative, and this is where I'm talking about here, double negatives. That actually means just add. Forget the negative signs, make it a positive, and add a positive number to it. So for example here, 7 plus negative 4, opposite signs, we would subtract to get a 3, and the 3 would be positive. All right, this is the same as 7 minus 4, which is easy for most people to do. 7 minus negative 4, here we have that double negative. So we're just going to cancel both of them out and think of this as a 7 plus 4. Another easy problem to do without a calculator. We simply get 11. Okay, so let's try a few more examples just to be sure you're ready. And again, no calculators. Example 7, we have 15 minus negative 30. Hopefully the alarm is already going off in your head. I said minus negative. We don't like minus negative. We're going to change those to positive. 15 plus 30. Adding those together, 5 plus 0 is 5, 1 plus 3, 4, and we get an answer of 45. Example 8, negative 10 minus negative 6. Again, minus negative. No. Let's get rid of those and make it into a much more simple problem, negative 10 plus a positive 6. Here we would subtract the larger minus the smaller to get a 4. And because 10 is larger, we're going to make that 4 negative. Okay, example 9, we're just going to up the ante a little bit here. 13 minus 90, that's in parentheses. So we need to do that first. So 13 minus 90 might be a little difficult for some of you to do. So don't forget, minus is the same as plus negative. So if we do a positive 13 and a negative 90, all right, just to save some time here, I'm going to tell you it's negative 77. And I'm going to copy the rest of the problem down that I haven't used. The reason I make sure to copy down the rest of the problem is, especially here in the beginning, there is a negative sign in front of the parentheses. That now gives me a double negative. I want to get rid of that double negative. So now the problem we're left with is 77 minus 10 minus 24. You can do this in whatever order you like, whether it's left to right, or if you like the 10 and 24 to go together first. It really doesn't matter because we can change all of this to addition using the definition of subtraction. Plus negative 10 plus negative 24. Putting them together however you like. Take a minute, see what you get. And hopefully after you've done your calculations, you've gotten the same thing that I've gotten, a positive 43. So at this point, You've got more than enough information to try the homework assignment. If you have other questions, come see your teacher as soon as possible. Good luck. Have a good day.